Sartorius originates from the anterior superior iliac spine, travels downwards. That's the course of it, and inferiorly, medially to the thigh, and inserts onto the medial superior surface of the tibia. Okay. The actions, of course, if it's attached to the ilium, it will do something to the hip joint. Okay, so at the hip joint, what it does is that it's a flexor, it's an abductor, and a lateral rotator. At the knee joint, it is a flexor. So basically, with the sartorius, because it's a really long muscle, we are talking about its actions in relations to the, sorry, doing a lot, to the hip joint and the knee joint, okay? And so we want to know exactly when it contracts, what does it do? So if this muscle contracts, it becomes shorter, okay? What it does is that it will flex the hip joint. It will also abduct it. What does that mean? Abduct it means that if it contracts, it will cause this movement, okay, of the whole leg, as if you're spreading your legs. And we are also causing lateral rotation. So the rotation of the femur this way on its axis, of course. So maybe I will show you this way. What it does is it causes lateral rotation. Okay. The next muscle in the anterior compartment. I know this topic might be a long one, but it's very beneficial to us to go into those details so that when you're studying it, you don't have to go anywhere. Okay. Finally, the pectineus. Okay, just give me a second. Let me find the pectineus. Yes, here. That's the pectineus. The pectineus. That's the pectineus. It's a flat quadrangular shaped muscle which contributes to the floor of the femoral triangle. Okay. The attachments, it originates from the pectineal line of the pubis bone and inserts onto the pectineal line on the posterior aspect of the femur here. So of course, when it contracts, it will have adduction when people try to get their legs together, adduction, and flexion of the hip joint. And in this case, you can see why. If it contracts, it will pull this bone, causing flexion at this joint. And the innervation of this muscle is femoral nerve. Okay. Sartorius as well, femoral nerve. Rectus femoris, femoral. Vastus medialis, femoral. Vastus intermedius, femoral. Vastus lateralis, femoral. Even the iliacus, femoral. Okay. So the femoral nerve innervates so many of the muscles of the anterior compartment, except for the psoas major, which is innervated by L1 and L3. Okay. And the rest is all femoral nerve. Okay. Deal. All right. Now we have finished the anterior compartment. I'm going to go to the posterior compartment because they are very quick and easy to do. I'm going to reduce the muscle mass to try my best to select all of the things that we need for this one. So we have the biceps femoris, sorry. Okay, here. Reset. And let's go in here. Let's reduce the muscle mass, remove the connective tissue. and do some selections. We have the biceps femoris long head, biceps femoris short head. Where is it? Here. The semitendinous and semimembranous. And we'll have this part. We'll have this part. We'll have this part. Let's also take this part. And I think we are good. So we isolate. And you can see the posterior compartment of the thigh. Now, posterior compartment of the thigh, first of all, you have to know that it's made up of 4 muscles. No, 3 muscles, but in total individual counts, we will say 4. First, we have the biceps femoris long head, the biceps femoris short head, and then we have a sort of a bed and someone sleeping on it. The bed is called membranous, semi-membranous, and what's sleeping on it is something thin, so semi-tendinous, okay? So the tendinous is on top of the membranous. Now, let's dive into details of those things, and maybe after this, I will show you how the book can be of great use for you so far for what we have covered, okay? Now, first, the muscles of the posterior compartment of the thigh, they are together called the hamstring. So this is, all of this together is called the hamstring. The anterior compartment like what is there as a collective for some of the muscles called the quadriceps femoris. Okay, addition to the pectineus and the sartorius, quadriceps femoris. Here we have the hamstrings. The hamstrings are made up of 3 muscles in total: biceps femoris, made up of long head and short head, tendinous on top of the membranous. What they do is they extend at the hip and flex the knee. Okay, so what they do is that they, when they contract, they cause flexion at the knee. When they relax, when these relax, they cause extension of the knee. And so these ones work opposite to the quadriceps. Okay, hamstrings work opposite to the quadriceps, and these posterior and anterior compartments, they are used in great majority together to help us, let's say, in things like walking. Okay, so let's start with the innervation of those muscles together. These muscles, or the hamstring, this common term, is innervated by the sciatic nerve, something called the sciatic nerve. Opposite to the anterior compartment, almost all of it, except for the psoas major, is innervated by the femoral nerve. This one right now is the sciatic nerve for the hamstrings. The muscles are located, as we see, on the posterior compartment of the thigh. And to start with, let's discuss the biceps femoris, long head, and short head. Okay. It is found on the lateral part, because here you can see that this is lateral. This side is lateral. This side is medial. Okay. And so let's just put it like that, lateral and medial. So biceps femoris is found laterally with its long head and short head. And the common tendon of the two heads here it can be palpated at the popliteal fossa. Okay, you can see that in a way they have a common tendon, and the popliteal fossa is found here. Attachment, the long head originates from the ischial tuberosity. This is the ischial tuberosity. Okay, you can see that it's the ischial tuberosity. And the short head originates from the linea aspera of the posterior surface of the femur. The linea aspera is here, so it will originate from the femur on the posterior aspect. Okay, together they form a tendon and insert on the head of fibula. Remember, they insert on the fibula. And sometimes I really wonder, because some patients, they get this bone removed. This is something really interesting. They get this bone removed. So I wonder what happens to the biceps femoris muscles. That's something interesting. I just thought of it. Because they both insert on a common tendon on the fibula. Okay. Now, the actions, what they do is they flex the knee, like we said. Innervation, sciatic nerve. Okay. Now, the next one is semitendinosus. The semitendinosus, it originates from the ischial tuberosity again, and it attaches to the medial surface of the tibia. Here. You can see medial surface of the tibia. Because as I said, this side is M and lateral. So medial side of the tibia is the attachment of the semitendinosus originating from the ischial tuberosity. The semimembranous, sorry, the pen is making it lag. The Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Okay, that's it. The membranous, semimembranous, it originates from the ischial tuberosity, okay, and attaches to the medial tibial condyle. Here. Medial tibial condyle. That's the medial tibial condyle, and it attaches on it. Again, flexion of the knee. And innervation sciatic nerve. So these are the posterior compartment. We have one more compartment called the medial compartment. But before I dive into it, I will just show you maybe how the book works for the shorter part, posterior compartment, okay? So that you have a very quick resource for you to maybe revise and not waste time. Where's the book? Here. Yes. Okay. And let's remove this and try to share it with you right here. And I'm gonna go to the page 112. It's not it. That's gluteal. And we reached, that's not it. 1 second. Yes, this is what we revised. We have revised psoas major, and iliacus. These two make up iliopsoas. These are the muscles that I said that we discussed in the beginning here that go below the inguinal ligament. Then we discussed sartorius. We discussed quadriceps, rectus femoris, vastus intermedius, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. These are extra. This is the medial side. That's what's left for us from the thigh. But we discussed, that's the femoral triangle. I think that's a point that we should discuss later. But we discussed, where did it go? There's a lot of things here. Back of the thigh, here. We have general remarks. They are called hamstrings. They include three muscles: biceps femoris, long head, short head; semitendinosus, which is the thinner one sleeping on the bed, Semimembranous more medially, this is more laterally. Origin all arise from the ischial tuberosity. Insertion in the upper end of the tibia and fibula. Remember, the femoris, the biceps femoris on the fibula, and the tendinous and the membranous on the tibia. Nerve supply, see, sciatic nerve. You have the blood supply and the actions, what they do. Then they dive deeply into each one. So the biceps femoris has two heads, long head, short head, where they originate, each one of them. Here, linea aspera. Here, the ischial tuberosity. Insertion, head of fibula, both of them, because they, as we said, they form a common tendon. Sciatic nerve, actions for them. You have important relations every time. Then you have the two others, semitendinous sleeping on the semimembranous, both of them found more medially. Origin, you see ischial tuberosity, both of them, ischial tuberosity. Insertion of the semitendinous, it's on the upper part of the medial surface of the tibia. The other one is the medial condyle. Insertion here. Where is it? Back of condyle of the tibia, medial condyle of tibia. Okay. And we spoke a little bit about the popliteal fossa when we spoke about the biceps femoris attaching to the fibula, closer to the popliteal fossa. And the popliteal fossa is this here. And this is something that you will also study um, as you do dissection room 2. It will come up. But this book, it has everything. So when you use it, do not dive into more than you are required. So for example, if I'm studying the posterior muscles of the thigh, I have only 2 pages, page 53 and page 54. You don't have to go into page 55. If you want to, you can, but don't waste time. Study the points as they are. Then, for example, we went over them quickly, but the pages for, let's say, the anterior compartment of the thigh, okay? It will be, uh, of course, that's medial. So that's femoral triangle. Okay, where's the anterior compartment? Here. Yes. So you have muscles of the front thigh, page 41. Okay, sartorius. 42, 43, up until here. 44 is not needed. So you have 3 pages for the anterior compartment and 2 pages for the posterior compartment. What's left is the medial compartment. Where is it? It's down here. Medial compartment, page 44, 45, 46, and that's it. So 3 pages for medial. So that's the only thing you need to do for today's lesson. So hopefully we can maybe finish medial. But for today's lesson, from this book, you need to really memorize hardcore, and it has to be very strict into your brain, the anterior compartment, 3 pages or 2 pages, the posterior compartment, the posterior compartment 2 pages, the anterior compartment 3 pages, and the medial compartment 3 pages. So you, for today, you have 6, 8, 7, 8. So you have 8 pages. You'll be done with muscles of the thigh, and that's 1 point of your oral. But if you do it day by day and you have it here, you don't have to worry about anything. Okay? All right, so let's try maybe before the time ends to dive into medial compartment. Here, the medial compartment of the thigh. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 muscles. Okay, and they're situated close to each other. I will show you and select them. We will gonna remove the sartorius. We don't need it. Yeah, that's the gracilis, sorry. Yes, this one we need it. Reset. So we will select the ones we need. We have longus. We have magnus. brevis, gracilis, longus brevis, and obturator externus. I hope I can find this. No. There's minimus with us. No, minimus. It's not here. We need the externus here. Oh, that's not the one. Hmm. Ah, this one. That's the internus. We need the externus. Where is the externus? It's here. I think that's the one. Yes. So we have adductor magnus, adductor longus, adductor brevis, obturator externus, and gracilis. And isolate. So these are the muscles. Let me get the bones in relations to them. We have the pubis, of course, this one, of course, these ones, and isolate. Okay, perfect. And we can also select the tibia. Perfect. So these are the muscles of the medial compartment. First, we're going to start with the obturator externus here. Just like we have obturator externus, we have an obturator internus. The obturator internus, it covers the inside of the obturator foramen. But from here, we have the obturator externus, covers the outside, almost all of it, of the obturator foramen. That's where it originates from. Obturator externus is one of the smaller muscles of the medial thigh, and it is located superior within the compartment. So you can see here it's superior within the compartment. And it originates from the membrane of the obturator foramen externally. Okay, externally. And it passes under the neck of the femur. This is the neck of the femur. It passes under it, and it attaches onto posterior aspect of greater trochanter. What does it do? If this contracts, if this muscle becomes short, what it does, it causes adduction of the femur. And of course, if it contracts because it attaches to the posterior aspect of the femur, we would expect lateral rotation. So we would expect lateral rotation going outside. So the rotation is like this. Because the opposite would be medial, towards the inside. But this one, when it contracts, you can see if it contracts, it will pull on this. It will pull on this. So of course, we will see lateral rotation. Okay? Now, the innervation is obturator nerve. From the name obturator externus, the innervation is obturator nerve. Okay, first muscle done. We have 4 more. Now, the one after it that I want to discuss is here, the adductor magnus, the biggest one in the medial compartment. The adductor magnus, from its name, it adducts. Okay, is the largest muscle of the medial compartment of the thigh. Okay, and it is made up of 2 parts: the adductor component and a hamstring component. It's made up of 2 parts: adductor component and hamstring component. This is the adductor component, and this is the hamstring component. The adductor component, it originates from the inferior rami of the pubis and the rami of the ischium here, because this is rami of pubis and this is rami of ischium. So it originates from here and attaches to the linea aspera of the femur. Okay. The hamstring part originates from the ischial tuberosity, attaches to the adductor tubercle and medial condylar line of the femur here. The medial supracondylar line of the femur. So it originates from ischial tuberosity and attaches to the, let's say, medial supracondylar line of femur. Okay. Actions, the adductor would help us what? Adduct femur towards the medial, to the medial. So it adds to the body, towards the body. Okay. Okay. Here, if this contracts, it will cause, it will help us to get our legs together. Okay. It will adduct the femur. And the hamstring, it will help in adduction and extension of thigh. So let's say we want to kick a ball, it will help us cause this movement. Okay. Okay. The innervation of this one is obturator nerve for the adductor. This part is obturator nerve. The hamstring part is the sciatic nerve. The obturator nerve and sciatic nerve. So two innervations for the adductor magnus, two actions, two attachments, and two muscles. Okay, for adductor magnus. The adductor longus is a shorter focus here. You have to isolate those, sorry. The adductor longus, I think it was this one. No, that's the gracilis. Here, I think, yes, that's the one. Adductor longus. The adductor longus, it attaches, originates from the pubis bone of the pelvis and expands to a fan shape. You have a fan shape here. It's a fan shape. So it attaches or originates from the pubis bone of the pelvis. And it has an attachment along the linea aspera of the femur. Action, it adducts the thigh. Of course, helps us again to close our legs. Okay. And innervation is obturator nerve. Okay. Obturator nerve. The adductor brevis is a shorter one, similar to it. Originates from the body of the pubis, again. Body of the pubis. And attaches to the linea aspera again of the femur. Also adduction of the thigh. Obturator nerve is innervation here. Finally, the longest one is the gracilis. The gracilis is the most superficial and the most medial. It passes across both the hip joint and the knee joint. It's very long, okay? But the sartorius is longer than this one. It originates from the inferior rami of the pubis, and it descends down medially, okay, and attaches to the medial surface of the tibial shaft. Action, again, adduction of the thigh at the hip joint and flexion of the leg at the knee. Causes flexion of the leg. Again, innervation is obturator nerve. Okay. This is the end of our thigh muscles. And I have shown you exactly which parts of the book you should do if you want to stick to it. That's the end of the thigh muscles. Let me go here. And what am I sharing? Yes, no, I want to share this one. Here, we have finished muscles of the thigh. Okay, it's a big topic. We have muscles of the lower limb, leg and foot. We can do this now. Maybe try and dive into it. Okay, muscles of the lower limb, leg and foot. I have finished with Nastia, the gluteal region last time. Okay. Um, we should set up 3 others, but hopefully we can maybe finish a large number next time to stay on track. Our goal is to maybe try to finish 3 points per class, but the muscles are a big topic, and I'm glad we got them off our shoulder. Um, okay, so let's try to do a little bit of the leg and the foot. Mhm. And the leg and the foot, leg is actually one of the hardest actually, because if you remember muscles of the arm, sorry, the forearm, flexor, extensors, here it's also a very similar way, but not as intense, but still it is a huge part. Let's try maybe to dive into the part of the leg where things are easy to leave the hardest at the end. We can start at the muscles of the posterior compartment of the leg because these ones are, maybe I would say, not easy, but maybe it's doable. Let's check the other ones. I want to check the anterior compartment of the leg. Tibialis, here we have tibialis anterior. We have extensor digital longus, extensor halus longus, fibularis. Yes, this one is easy. So to start with, I will want to start with the anterior compartment of the leg. Okay. So now we are doing muscles of the lower limb, leg and foot. Point number 6. This is the start of it. Point number 6. Just to point your attention that the thigh here, all of what we did so far today is thigh. So you have anterior compartment, medial compartment, and posterior compartment. Okay. Now, the muscles of the gluteal region, you have the superficial compartment and the deep compartment. The superficial compartment is mainly made up of the gluteus muscles, gluteus maximus, minimus, stuff like that. And the deep compartments, the gimli, for example, are present there. So these are the gluteal region. Now we're going to dive into the leg and the foot. The leg on its own, I'm going to do probably dive into, let's say, a little bit of the leg. The leg on its own, it has 3 things. It has anterior compartment of the leg, lateral compartment of the leg, and posterior compartment of the leg. The thigh, on the other hand, does not have a lateral. It has a medial. So it's the opposite. So you have anterior, posterior, medial here. Here you have anterior, posterior, lateral. So what I wanted to do now is anterior compartment of the leg. Okay? The anterior compartment of the leg, I will select them. You have the tibialis anterior. I'll do a multiple selection. You have the extensor digitorum longus, which is this one. You have extensor.
Sorry, I cannot see this.
Ah, okay, sorry. Okay. Just give me a second. Here. Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, I will just do it again. Here. What I'm going to do is the anterior compartment of the leg present here. And you have lateral and posterior. So let's just dive first into the anterior. First, it has tibialis anterior, the extensor halus longus, extensor longus digitorum of the foot. And then we have maybe this one, fibularis tertius. And of course, I want to select how can we select the foot in total? Maybe we can just get the tips of them. Okay, just to give you an idea. And I would need tibia, fibula. Yep, maybe this will do it. Okay, isolate. You can see how they arrange themselves and they go extend down. The first thing is the anterior tibialis. And if it ends with us, the meeting, we will just continue next time. Here is the tibialis anterior. You can see how it attaches. It's closer to the tibia. Then we have one muscle alone to control the big toe. It's called extensor halus longus. And then one muscle alone to control the other digits or the toes from 2 to 5. Extensor digitorum longus of the foot. And then finally, you have this one, fibularis tertius. Fibularis tertius is used. It originates from the extensor digitorum longus from the medial surface of the fibula here. Okay, we will dive into it, don't worry. Yes, from here.